driftwood on the foreign shores, spilling out into the ocean floor, and the memories all you've left without a trace. Paralyzed with the thoughts receding, current sweeps you with the silent bleeding through the heart into the darkest place. Well, turn around, there's nothing to see here. Run away, no reason to be here. It's the ghost who never goes away. Turn around and leave this behind now. You see the ground as it bleeds in the sky now. You fight the sea, you're always gonna drown. All the secrets that you're holding, all the memories you hide, all the frail thoughts that echo in the corners of your mind, they won't even last a moment. They will soon be swept away when the ocean takes you in its arms and carries you away. You carry all your burdens on the cross around your neck. You take whatever's left that you could salvage from the wreck, and the hard past will follow you like a lost dog on the beach, nipping at your trail till you've drifted out of reach. Yeah, turn around, there's nothing to see here. Run away, no reason to be here. It's the ghost who never goes away. Turn around and leave this behind now. See the ground as it bleeds to the sky now. You fight the sea, you're always gonna drown. In the broken line horizon, in the castles made of sand, you tried to hold it in your hands, you tried to understand it. The ocean asks the questions, and it holds the answers too. It dissolves away the lies about the things you thought you knew.
I crack my knuckles.
Hello, my friends. 'Tis I, Dame Amateur Kalirania. My heart and my sword are yours. And 'tis I, Adulath Karakai II, bastard son of a real bastard. Your hearts are mine. And as we do every week on Sunday morning, except when our co-host is off having hollybobs, we are joined by John BloodRedTiger Whitehead, the author of this very fanfic. Hello and good day to you.
Hello, happy time zone.
It was my birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday to you as well.
I didn't do anything special stream-wise, just like I didn't do anything special stream-wise for my streaming anniversary several days before, I sort of have packed all of my important dates all into the back half of September. I have my birthday, my wedding anniversary, my streaming anniversary. All of those happen between the 20th and 27th of September. We gave gifts for the anniversary. We didn't really have a date or anything, but Moth gave me a very nice necklace. I guess the according to one of those schemes that people have come up with for gifts to give for different wedding anniversaries, the 11th is supposed to be
materials.
Yeah. I think the original sort of traditional one was supposed to be steel. Neither of us did anything with steel, but there's another list that's okay, jewelry. So we did jewelry, and there's another one that's specifically
traditionally steel.
Yeah,
modern
steel
is jewelry / fashion accessories.
Fashion accessories. Yeah, like in Final Fantasy 14, we'll give each other angel wings. There's a list of almost like birthstones where there's different minerals or gems, and that one, it was turquoise. So Moth gave me a turquoise necklace, and I got her a turquoise ring, carved into a scarab beetle kind of thing, because she loves insects. And I thought that was pretty cool. It was
Google suggests steel gifts such as cutlery or cookware.
Yeah. I mean, we've sometimes done kind of practical little things like that, but this time...
Happy anniversary, I bought you a pan.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. But for birthday, we had already just by chance had a haircut scheduled on my birthday. Our stylist, we'd been going to the same salon haircut place for several years, but the stylist that we had both used there was picking up stakes, going to start her own shop, her own salon, in a different part of town, and we decided to follow her to her new location. This little, there's actually it's like a whole office suite of different salon businesses. They kind of share the space, but she's got this tiny little the tiny little room with 3 hairdressers and their shampooing station all crammed into it. It was very cozy. But anyway, we got our haircuts, and at that point I had not eaten anything. I just like today, I barely dragged myself out of bed, and then off we go to our thing. Actually, no, wait, now that I think about it, I did have a meet up on Final Fantasy 14 that morning. I just didn't bother to eat anything. Yeah, so that's my fault. Anyway, we were the stylist was asking, oh, well, what are you going to do after this? I'm like, well, I'm really hungry. We should go get lunch. She said, oh, well, there's this world market and a food court right nearby, if you want to check that out. And we'd never heard of this before. We'd we've lived in this area for many, many years, but either it's relatively new or we just never happened to wander that direction, so we'd never heard of it before. Turns out just an absolutely delightful Asian grocery plus, like, yeah, different pan-Asian cuisine food court. Like, when somebody says food court, I, like, think of the mall and, like, Panda Express and Taco Bell kind of thing, but no, this was basically, as Moth put it, like, Asian street food, but not on a street. Like it was as if there were a bunch of food carts, but they were just set into the walls of a of a cafeteria area, and we had some delicious ramen, and then toured the grocery, grabbed some overseas snacks, some imported snacks. I've got a mooncake sitting right next to me now that I was cramming in my face as a bit of breakfast. So yeah, it was kind of a serendipitous birthday outing. We had not planned on that. I'd been thinking of going to an arcade, but we ended up going to an Asian grocery instead. Also, John, you had recommended, when I talked about watching the Bake Off, that
Yes.
we try watching the Great Pottery Throwdown.
The Great Pottery Throwdown.
Yeah, so we gave that a try yesterday evening.
Oh, cool.
Watched the first episode of it. I would say it's not as... I would still say that Bake Off is a more entertaining show overall, but it is. But this is a fun one as a change of pace, as something to also watch when we're waiting for the next Bake Off to air. It's definitely clever, and yeah, that first episode, the one host, the like hulking tower of a man, whatever his name is.
It's like, where does he find those suits, and why do they never fit him?
Yeah, Moth was making fun of his hair. It's like, you need to do something else with that hair. Just combing it over like that is just not working.
It looks like he's had just a few drops of Dr. Jekyll's serum.
Right, yeah. He's this kind of wall of a man, and very, fair. I mean, not a jerk ass like I don't know,
Oh, did you bring out the bucket of doom?
No, we haven't got there.
Oh, sometimes when they're making something and they're like they've had the middle challenge where they have to do, make 10 of these or something, and he comes out and he's just got a bucket with him, and he'll go, oh, these are all nice, and he goes, except that one. He just grabs it with his hand and squishes it and slaps it into this bucket, and they'll look of horror on their face. It's like, it's so deliberately brutal. It's hilarious. Because he's normally so nice. And
right.
He comes out, it's like, yeah, but that one's rubbish. Splat.
So yeah, he's not exactly, what's his name? Kitchen Nightmares guy.
Ramsey.
He's not exactly a Ramsey. He does sometimes have some fairly harsh words for what the participants put in front of him. Is like, don't do that again. Schoolboy mistake kind of thing. But then at the end, he's like, he starts crying because
it's incredibly beautiful. I've never seen anything like it, and I understand everything you've gone through. And then, yeah, he just loses it.
It just breaks down. Like, this was because it was the one of the participants who was clearly just like overwhelmed by the fact that she's on TV now and is having to compete with all these other home Potter folks. And she still had some flaws and her cracks in her work by the end, but he was just like so proud of her for for working through her nerves. It was so funny.
So at the end of a season, I mean, Bake Off, they make a cake, they make a loaf of bread, they make another cake, they make a different loaf of bread, or they might make a savoury pie.
Mm.
And then, for the finale, you've got to make a 3-course meal of 3 different types of cakes.
Mm.
You're like, yeah. Towards the end of the throwdown, they're making a working sink.
Whoa.
And, sets of tiles and a full bathroom suite sort of thing.
Holy cow. Okay. I mean, the first episode was very basic. It was like make a set of bowls that stack inside one another. So it perhaps didn't give that impression yet of being competitive with Bake Off as far as the variety that was going to be on display. But I will look forward to that. We will interweave some throwdown in between our watching of Bake Off from here out, I think.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you.
Another good one to look into is the Sewing Bee, the Great British Sewing Bee.
Sewing Bee.
I would recommend finding some of the older seasons, ideally with Joe Lycett presenting.
Joan Bicent. Okay. She's like the best of the hosts.
Joe Lycett. I'll type it. Joe Lycett.
Okay.
Joe Lycett is a comedian.
Oh, Joe Lycett. Okay.
He is dry. He's funny.
Mm.
Oh, he's funny. I'll have to find you and send you some Joe Lycett clips because just very low key, goes too far and cracks you up with stuff.
Anyway. Yes, appreciate the recommendation. That was my birthday recap. Happy birthday to me. Yeah, I've been doing okay. So, we are here almost an hour past the time that I try to target for starting stream. Well, I guess we've been talking for a little while. But we are here to read some Sunnydale Imp. We are on chapter 41 out of 77. So we have gotten well past the halfway mark. And this is the 11th stream that we've done of this. So
A lot of mileage.
yeah. 10. Yeah, maybe the full series will be about 20 streams, something like that. We'll see. We are in the process of initiating our OC insert Mickey into the Scoobies, the gang. She had, well, picked up on the whole monster fighting thing and the fact that, yeah, there's vampires and demons and so on and so forth in Sunnydale, all parked on top of this evil magic font, whose name shall not be spoken by Miki, we promise. But she was a little bit off track as far as the identity of the slayer that the vampires are so scared of. She thought it was Giles, that Giles was the
Guardian.
Yes, the Guardian, the expert and secretive mystic expert installed on top of the source of evil magic to guard and protect it. She thought that there was some kind of secret passage in the library leading to the actual thing. So
she clocked him straight away.
Yeah. But thought that he was literally the Slayer. No. So we've got to clear that up. And I think that's coming next. Our villainous subplot going in the background. There's a demon who's been coordinating with the local vampires, has been winding up to help them with their dangerous imp superhero problem. So that's just been in the Chekhov's gun stage. Okay.
Loaded and ready.
Buffy, Xander, and Willow hurried away to their classes, leaving Makisha with Giles, who wanted to ask her some questions before she scampered off to the music room.
Please have a seat.
He suggested.
I have a tale of some import to share with you.
Mickey pulled out a chair and perched cross-legged. Okay, go for it. He cleared his throat.
This world is older than you know.
He began. I don't know how old this world is, protested the imp. I've only been here a week.
Right, fair enough. This world is older than most people know. Contrary to popular mythology, it did not begin as a paradise. For untold eons, demons walked the earth.
And dinosaurs.
Possibly. The demons made the earth their home, their own version of hell.
But... Giles held up a hand.
If you could save your questions to the end, this will go much quicker.
Mickey bit her lip and he continued.
Over time, the demons lost their purchase on this reality. The way was made for mortal animals, including man. All that remains of the old ones are vestiges, certain magics, certain creatures, including vampires.
He paused to let this sink in, half expecting a flurry of questions, but Mickey sat quietly, eyes wide, waiting for more.
The ancient books tell us the last demon to leave this reality fed off a human, mixed their blood. He was a human form possessed, infected by the demon's soul, its essence. He bit another, and so they walked the earth, feeding, killing some, mixing their blood with others to make more of their kind, waiting for the animals to die out and the old ones to return.
Mickey practically vibrated with questions, but held her tongue. Giles nodded approval and continued.
For as long as there have been vampires, there has been the Slayer.
That's you! Exclaimed the imp, unable to contain her discovery any longer. Giles shook his head sternly.
No, not even nearly. Please listen. For centuries there has been one girl in all the world, a chosen one, a hero with the strength and skills to fight vampires on their own terms.
Mickey's eyes grew even wider as she revised her theory. That sounds like me! Am I the Slayer?
Give me strength. No, Buffy is the Slayer. She hunts vampires, and it is a secret, so please don't tell anybody.
Mickey gingerly lifted a hand. Can I ask questions now?
Yes, by all means.
Your world only has one superhero?
In this context, yes. There are several other individuals that could be classed as super or extraordinary. Yourself, for example. But the Slayer is the chosen warrior, magically imbued with power beyond that of mortals.
That's stupid! Mickey ran to the globe on its revolving stand. Your world is huge! You guys must have hundreds of vampires! That's a whole army!
Well, yes, thousands, possibly millions, in fact. It's not expected to be an easy task, but vampires are a secretive and uncooperative lot. If they were to work together, we would be in serious peril. But their personalities will not allow them to unify their resources.
It is a good point. All the rest of the planet, Sunnydale may be the worst of the lot, but surely there are vampires everywhere. I guess those just get to run around unslayed?
I mean, there's another Hellmouth in Cleveland, I think.
In Cleveland? Oh gosh. Okay, so what's your job? I thought you were the one guarding the big bad magic thingy. What do they call your job?
Librarian, technically. My position here is something of a coincidence. I'm not here to stop you getting at the big bad magic.
Oh,
I'm actually a representative of the Watchers Council. My job is to make sure that the Slayer has access to the training and information she needs to carry out her sacred duties.
so you really are just a library man? Not a big scary magic guardian guy?
Well, that is... yes.
She gave him the saddest look. I'm disappointed, but this means you need my help more than ever. I thought Buffy was just some kind of seer or something. She's way more special than I realized. How come nobody told me?
Because it's supposed to be a secret.
Oh, hello, Yuzu. Happy lurking. Lurking now will be here for real in a bit. Okay. It's Taz-a-Bejan. Mickey put all the emphasis on the first syllable and pronounced the last with a soft French-sounding J. Taz-a-Bejan.
Tazabajan.
I'm not a succubus, I promise. If I hadn't escaped with Jack, she would have killed me, because I couldn't learn shapeshifting. I skipped all the naughty stuff lessons.
You, skipped them?
Giles scratched a comment on his notepad. Mickey pulled a face. I knew I was going to be escaping, so I didn't need all that stuff. She looked at Giles searchingly. I figured I should learn that sort of thing at my own pace, right?
That's very wise, and remarkably mature.
Oh, good. She relaxed a little. I haven't needed any of that stuff. I don't have a boyfriend. Too busy.
Being a superhero?
Yeah.
Buffy tells me you had your hero suit on last night.
It was time to do hero stuff, and I wear a mask, so nobody recognizes me.
May I see?
Okay, but then I want to go play music, okay? Mickey morphed into her hero suit. Quilted leather, sturdy boots, a black beret, and a dark blue domino mask. The suit was mostly black with blue sides, with small armor pieces on the hips and upper arms, and much larger plates on the forearms. The suit also included a utility belt with numerous pouches, and Giles blinked.
Are those smoke grenades?
He inquired, keeping his voice neutral. Mickey nodded, grabbing one from each hip. 2 smoky ones, and 2 jokey ones. She showed Giles the black tubes, marked with crude white paint, a cloud on one, and a sad face on the other, complete with cartoon tears.
Tear gas?
That's the stuff. Sometimes you need to stop people without knocking them around.
I see. Any other surprises?
Mickey did have a couple of exploding grenades tucked out of sight, but she was saving them for a special occasion. Instead, she reached around her back and produced a handgun. I've got this!
Good lord. May I see that?
He held out a hand, and Mickey passed the gun over, holding it by the barrel. Giles turned the weapon over in his hands, quickly taking in the details. He had a passing familiarity with firearms, of course, but all the evidence suggested this weapon was the product of a parallel dimension.
Where did you get this?
He asked. The imp shrugged, which by now came as no surprise. I've had it a while. Stole it from a bad guy.
Fascinating. What model is it?
I don't know. A pistol? A black one?
So, just to be clear, this came from the same dimension as your identification card? The world of mutants and heroes?
Mickey nodded. That's right. He ejected the magazine and examined the stubby, caseless rounds. 7 large-caliber slugs, clearly designed for maximum impact. A single shot from this weapon would have tremendous stopping power. He didn't recognize the manufacturer. Gizmatic. And there was a date of manufacture on the grip. August 2005. Giles stared in astonishment. Nearly a decade in the future. This weapon isn't just technology from another universe, it's from another time.
Gizmatic,
He said aloud, frowning. Oh, yeah. His real name's Wilkins, supplied Mickey with a smile. He's a genius inventor and a supervillain.
Wilkins, really? And you've met this individual?
Huh? Oh, no way. He's an emperor. Got his own country and stuff.
I see. Probably no connection to our local mayor then. Never mind.
He hefted the gun.
Tell me, do you have any other items of technology from another world?
Nope, nothing. Mickey shook her head for emphasis. Can I have it back? Buffy and Willow sat together in chemistry at the back where Mrs. Taggart couldn't overhear their whispered conversation. Yeah, outright lie. Doesn't surprise me. $100 a month is hardly what I'd call employment, grumbled Willow. I know she doesn't exactly have bills and taxes to pay. Oh no. Do you think she'll need to get a bank account? What about filing taxes? Maybe the council can arrange something for her, like falsified documentation? That'd be useful, right? Of the good? But still, $100 only sounds like a lot, and I bet Miki thinks it's a fortune. She probably thinks she can buy a house, or a car, or both. Buffy kept her lips pressed into a tight line. Giles hasn't been in touch with the council, she said flatly. Those stuffy English nerds wouldn't have come back with an offer this fast. They'd debate it to death, make Giles prove that Mickey really is a devil, or worse. If the council believed Mickey's story, I bet they'd send a team with guns in a big cage. Willow's eyes widened. They wouldn't do that, would they? I wouldn't want to be in their shoes if they did, but yeah, they do something sneaky and underhanded, and Giles knows it. But the money? Buffy frowned. Pretty sure Giles is planning to pay her out of his own salary. Willow stared. Can he do that? I suppose he can if he's got $100 spare every month. You're right about Miki, though. Someone's gonna have to stop her from spending it all on something crazy. I'll have a word with her about budgeting her finances. Buffy chuckled. Yeah, good luck with that. Donuts. $100 a month worth of donuts. Xander met up with the pair after class.
I saw you two whispering back there. What's going on?
Willow glanced around to make sure nobody was in earshot. Buffy thinks Giles is going to pay that money himself.
Huh? Why? Council can spare $100 a month, surely.
Buffy shrugged. Pretty sure he'll have a good reason. We'll have to ask him at lunch. Xander frowned.
We're gonna have to start making a list. Way too many mysteries around here lately.
Willow lit up. I could do that. But we'd have to keep it secret. We can't risk it falling into the wrong hands.
Like a lockable book? One of those zip-up folders with a padlock?
Willow shook her head. We could maybe keep the list in Giles' safe in the library? With the prescribed texts? She immediately blushed. Not that I know anything about those. Buffy nodded, wary but intrigued. Give it some thought. We'll regroup at lunch and figure out our options. When Mickey finally managed to get free of Giles and his never-ending questions, she zipped down the corridor to find the music room, only to find it full of kids. A frowny-faced teacher stood at the front of the room waving a little stick. the teacher, spotting Mickey standing in the doorway, and paused mid-wave.
Ugh.
There was a blurting, farting screech as half the kids forgot how to play their instruments. A dozen heads turned to glare at her, and Mickey ducked back out in a hurry. "Nuts," she grumbled. "Guess the Plinky Blonk's busy. When I'm rich, I'm gonna buy my own." She took a moment to consider all of the possibilities of her impending wealth, and quickly realized she had no idea how much a person could buy with $100. She'd spent 20 already just on food, and while that was enough to last her a while, she didn't really know enough numbers to work out how much food she could buy in a month, and how much money she'd have left for fun stuff. She does obtain a Plinky Plonk? Kinda? Okay. Aw, pooh, a situation where numbers would be useful for something. It was bound to happen eventually. She frowned, thinking. She wasn't the best at thinking, the same way normal people did it. She was best at tricky thinking. Unconventional, Jack called it. She already had a way to shop without doing numbers, so she could use the same method to solve this problem as well. She could just ask the shop guy how much it would cost to buy food for a month. Boom. Easy as breakfast. I bet I'd have a lot left over. Plus, I still have a bunch of food left over from when I last went shopping. Satisfied she had chosen the best approach, Mickey blipped down the corridors to the big doors and skipped out of school. Up on the rooftops, Mickey was free to move at full speed. Leaping and sprinting and teleporting up where she wouldn't be noticed was a ton of fun, and she arrived at her destination all too quickly. She pouted for a moment, then swung her legs over the side and dropped to the ground. She let her wings take off some of the speed, just for the fun of it. She skipped into the store, ready to find the friendly assistant, but the cashier guy was busy talking to a customer, and the customer was angry, really angry, agitated. Mickey frowned. Angry guy was pointing a gun at the cashier. He was robbing the store. Nuh-uh, buddy, not today. Mickey didn't waste any time. She just teleported to the guy's side and grabbed the gun. Quick tug pulled the guy's arm so he was overbalanced and the gun wasn't pointing at anybody. He started to pull back, so she kicked him in the ribs. Not too hard, but enough that his legs left the ground for a moment. Mickey let the guy sag to the ground and gently took the gun out of his hand. She pocketed it and turned to the cashier. "Are you okay?" she asked. He nodded, eyes locked on the groaning thief. What did you do to that guy?" "Kicked him a bit. He'll be fine. Probably. You should call the police, I guess, but I'd prefer you didn't tell them about me." She pointed at the security camera in the corner. "Does that work?" The cashier shook his head. No. I figured a fake one would be enough to stop this sort of thing." "Huh. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to ask you a question." Right? "If I had $100 and I wanted to buy enough food to last me a month, how much would I have left?" "What?" Okay. Chapter 41 complete. Hello, Rain. Welcome to the stream, as always. Good to see you. Yeah. See now.
Classic Mickeyism. Kicked him, not too hard, but enough that his feet leave the ground.
Right, yeah, I was kind of picking up on that too.
I was also wondering if where I've written library man.
Library man, yep.
You could possibly pronounce it, "Are you the library man?" As a Mickeyism.
Yeah, I should have drawn that out a little bit harder. Oh well. One take. That's how it goes. But yeah.
Yep. That's part of the fun.
Mm-mm.
Moral compass.
Moral compass, chapter 42. The answer to the question of life, the universe, and everything. Okay. When the lunch bell rang, Rhonda and Heidi slipped away to their secret smoking spot. Heidi already had her lighter out ready, but forgot all about it when she saw Mickey sat on the step, hugging her knees and looking miserable. Oh, hey Mickey, ventured Heidi. You okay there? The new kid blinked and looked up. Hi, Dee Dee! She shouted. It looked like she was listening to a radio, and the headphones were just two small white blobs stuffed into her ears. The two girls exchanged meaningful glances and sat down on either side of her to offer silent support. Mickey spotted the lighter and raised her hands to her ears. If you guys are gonna... She pulled out the earplugs and continued at a normal volume. Start smoking. I'll get out of your way. She fiddled with the radio and quickly hid it away somewhere. I didn't mean to intrude. Rhonda put a hand on Mickey's arm. It's okay. We can sit for a while if you need some quiet. Mickey leaned against her. That's nice of you guys, she sniffed. Is it lunchtime already? Yeah. Something getting you down? Did you ever do something without thinking and it turned out way worse than you thought? Well, and if that's, like, standout for Mickey, that this must be pretty bad. I would think that that's the sort of thing that happens to Mickey all the time.
Often.
The Scoobies grabbed a quick lunch and headed to the library, armed with their mental lists of questions and ideas. Giles looked up as the troop barged in and took up positions around the table.
Mikisha's not with you?
He asked mildly. Nope, replied Buffy, popping the pea. We thought she was still here with you. Willow frowned. We haven't seen her all morning,
Not a peep.
confirmed Xander.
And you know how that girl loves her classes.
Is that ironic? I mean, she loves some of them.
She loves the ones she goes to.
Yeah.
Just doesn't go to the ones that she doesn't. They don't count.
The Englishman polished his glasses and came out from behind the counter.
Should we be worried?
Buffy and Xander shook their heads and shrugged, respectively, with only Willow murmuring, maybe a little, in a quiet voice.
I see. Would it change your answers if I mentioned that Mikisha appears to be in possession of a handgun?
Willow and Xander stared in horror, but Buffy merely looked thoughtful. Not especially, replied the Slayer, unless she's going to leave it out where someone could see it. There was a second of confused silence, and Buffy rolled her eyes in exasperation. I dropped a car on her last night. A big one, because she asked me to. A gun's hardly gonna make her any more dangerous, right? No sense worrying about it. She frowned. I would like to know where she is, though. Willow nodded, eyes wide. We have questions,
So many questions.
added Xander. Giles smoothly slid his glasses back on.
I managed to keep Mikisha answering questions for the better part of an hour this morning, and it's becoming depressingly certain that we're never going to get the complete story regarding her backgrounds and capabilities. I get the impression she's not altogether certain herself.
He blinked as a new possibility occurred to him.
In fact, I wonder if she might just be making up answers as we go along.
Buffy fixed her gaze on her watcher. Actually, I have questions for you.
Oh,
A consultancy fee? Really? And we did some math. Willow figures Mickey will need at least $150 a month just to buy food. Willow nodded. That's based on a single person living on modest means. Giles coughed, frowning.
Yes, thank you. I'm well aware of the budgetary requirements of a single person.
So what's the big idea? There's no way you got an answer out of the council that quickly, anyway. Admit it, you're bankrolling this yourself. He raised his brows.
Fair enough. It's a fair cop. I'm going to pay her myself. I'd like to see about finding some proper accommodation for her as well, but the situation is more delicate than I'd like.
He found himself facing matching frowns. You mean you think the council might want her dead? Accused Buffy.
Or worse. I've heard tales of unusual and even friendly supernatural creatures captured for interrogation, dissection, or simply as a source of spell components.
He shuddered.
Suffice to say, the Council has always maintained a rather firm stance against creatures of otherworldly evil, and I'm not prepared to wager Mikisha's life on my ability to convince them of her value.
Which is what?
Well, aside from her information, she is a formidable warrior, trained to be a literal superhero. What better ally for the Slayer in a fight against evil? I'm fairly sure you'd be the first Slayer in history to be openly supported by an ally of equivalent physical power.
Buffy blinked. I could take time off, she marveled. When you put it like that, I feel like I should be contributing something to her salary as well.
I shouldn't worry yourself unduly,
Calmed Giles.
I have a few contacts in the council who can purchase Mikisha's stories without drawing undue attention to their origin. That should provide enough supplementary funds to afford the occasional bonus.
Oh, yeah, Rain. I was just thinking about that too. That, like, this is, oh god, this, the 90s.
Mid-90s, yeah.
Yeah, so $150 a month for food. Whereas, like,
She could make a fortune if she sold her MP3 player.
True. Like, Moth and I easily spend $200 on, like, a single grocery run, of which you need, 3 or 4 in a month. Oof. Oh, yeah, in California, no less. Yeah, jeez. And, that would all be fine if wages had increased at the same rate since the 90s. Oof. But, our impending second Great Depression, well, we'll just have to set that aside for now. Let's see. Just then there was a thump against the library door as 2 students pushed it open and scanned the room.
Rhonda Kelly.
Mouthed Xander, recognizing the pair.
And Heidi.
The formerly possessed hyena packmates nodded to Xander, and he dipped his head in return. They're all in here, announced Heidi, and Mickey stepped into view behind them. I told you they'd be worrying about you. Both girls closed on the imp and gave her a hug before filing out without another word. Second, I think we're on the... Oh, was there a second Great Depression? I suck at history. I always just tended to think of there being the one back in the, before World War II. The door swung shut behind them, leaving Mickey standing alone. Buffy pursed her lips. Yeah, no, receptions don't count. No, I was talking actual straight out and out depression. Well, that wasn't creepsome or ominous in the least. Mickey had changed clothes at some point and was now wearing black jeans and a dark gray plaid blouse. Her hair hung down her back in a loose mass of black curls. She trudged over to the table and flopped into a chair as the group watched in silence.
Everything okay, Max?
Asked Xander. Mickey shrugged. I don't know. Is it bad if somebody dies because of something I did? He winced inwardly.
I guess that depends. How directly were you involved?
You remember I pinched some camping stuff to build my lair? I just went to look and the store's closed. The imp looked furious. I thought he must have gone out of business because of all the stuff I stole. But I asked at the place next door, and I think he got killed by vampires. She jumped out of the chair and began pacing. They were looking for me, and they killed that guy just because I'd been in his shop. That's not fair. That's hardly your fault, protested Buffy. Giles nodded.
I agree. You shouldn't blame yourself. It's sad,
Added Xander.
but it's just bad luck. You can't feel too guilty about it.
Mickey stopped her pacing. Oh, it's nothing like that. Imps don't really have a conscience. I'm just angry that I made such a stupid mistake, and I don't know what to do to fix it. The room was silent for a long, loaded moment, but Buffy, always focused on the hunt, merely shrugged. Pretty sure we know who it was. Find 'em and dust their vamptastic butts. The imp narrowed her eyes. Gotta find him first. Oh, that's easy. We'll go ask around at Willie's. Somebody'll know something. Mickey giggled. Willie's? Buffy rolled her eyes. It's a bar over on Thousand Oaks Drive, but hidden unless you know where to look. She eyed the Devil Girl appreciatively. You'd probably have no problem finding it, though. Non-humans seem to gravitate there easily enough. Non-humans? You mean it's a special place for monsters? Oh, you mean that imps are like Harmony?
No conscience.
Ah! Vampires and demons, clarified Buffy. But the owner's human, so don't break him. I rough him up a bit now and then, keep up appearances so he doesn't lose face with the clientele. Mickey considered that. Okay, how about we meet up at the club tonight and make our plan? The other one, I mean. The one for humans.
The bronze,
Supplied Xander, just to be certain. Yeah. She took a deep breath, visibly more relaxed now she had a plan. Or at least, a plan to make a plan. She spun on the spot and her clothes changed in a flash of green fire, reconfiguring to a bright blue sundress, printed with large red flowers and pale green stems. Time for lunch, she announced and flounced cheerfully to the door. See you later. Nice dress, commented Larry as Mickey plunked herself down on the chair next to his. Are those skulls? He asked incredulously, leaning closer for a better look. Flaming red skulls barfing green slime? Mickey's dark eyes sparkled as she twirled her fork. Sneaky cool, right? He laughed, and the other boys around the table shot him a look. Where the heck do you find clothes like that? It's a secret, she chuckled, pausing to spear a sausage with her fork. I'm glad you like it, though. It's not just the clothes, it's how you wear 'em. Mickey raised a brow and smiled as she chomped the end off the sausage. I want to go to the zoo. Tomorrow's not a school day, right? Larry blinked. Tomorrow's Saturday. Great. In that case, would you like to come to the zoo with me? I got no other plans. I'm free all day. I think it'd be fun. The big guy considered for all of a second before grinning widely. I got practice at 3, but I'm all yours until then. Want me to come pick you up? What is it with you trying to pick me up? Mickey bit the other end off her sausage, and Larry flinched. I mean, I could meet you at your house and walk you to the zoo? That's okay. I have a bunch of errands to run first thing, so I'll meet you at the zoo. What time does it open? No idea. How about we meet up for about 10, and if it's not open yet, we can go get milkshakes or something. That's an awesome idea, enthused Mickey. Now give me a mo while I kill this sandwich. Willow stared at the library door, her face white as a sheet. Imps don't have a conscience? She whispered for the third time. Giles polished his glasses.
What we'd normally call a sociopathic tendency, I suppose. We must remember that she comes from a dimension that exists solely for the systematic torture and shriving of mortal souls.
He frowned.
Empathy for humans, especially strangers, must seem quite unnatural to her.
Xander nodded.
That's what she kept Jack around for. He keeps her out of trouble. He gives her rules and strategies to deal with moral stuff.
He's her conscience, exclaimed Willow. Like Jiminy Cricket.
Great. So who's going to do it while he's not here?
Buffy laid her hands flat on the table. All of us. We're her friends. We're all she's got. Xander held up a finger.
Plus Larry, and Cordelia, and the pack. Oh, and Snyder.
He blinked.
She seems to make friends pretty easily, now I think of it.
Giles stiffened.
And with the unlikeliest of people. You raise an interesting point, Xander. This could be some leftover aspect of her succubus training. Succubus what now?
It's also Xander. Okay. Giles massaged his temples.
Did you read the book yet?
He asked.
I looked at it, but Mickey's handwriting hurt my eyes after the first few lines. Give me the Cliff Notes version.
Buffy leaned forward and counted on her fingers. Mickey got shanghaied into training as a succubus. They made her human size and taught her how to change her clothes. One day Jack turned up, so Mickey shrunk herself and hid in his pocket. That's how she escaped hell.
There's rather more to it than that,
huffed the librarian.
She insists she skipped all the naughty stuff, but it's still possible she picked up some other tricks, such as how to steal a person's soul.
Willow raised her hand gingerly. Doesn't that, require the naughty stuff? Isn't that what succubi do?
Let's not test that theory, It's possible Mikisha is a special case, and she's applied at least one occasion where she's obtained a soul, in whole or in part, which we can't assume was entirely voluntary.
Xander decided to raise his hand as well.
Speaking for myself, can I say yikes? Yikes indeed.
Intoned Giles.
As Buffy suggests, regardless of her other friends, we four are the only ones aware of this issue, so it falls to us to act as her moral compass. That seems fair. Kinda the least we can do, to be honest, since she's helping fight evil on a world that's not even her home.
Buffy nodded. And since she is only getting paid a pittance. Giles frowned.
The modest salary should stop her wanting to do something reckless with it.
You remember she has no idea how much 100 is, right? Let alone what it's worth?
Ah, yes. Oh dear.
Don't sweat it. Will's volunteered to talk to her about her finances.
Ah, yes. Very good then. Best of luck and all that.
We also think it'd be worth keeping some kind of database she bored on, or at least a list. We've got a lot of questions that need answering, and sometimes the answers are things we might all need to know. If we kept everything together in one place, we could make sure everybody's up to speed. Giles frowned.
I'm all in favour of the research, and I commend your idea, but I fear such a list of questions could be dangerous in the wrong hands.
Hello, Rainicorn. You have a life to live. Things, much as I would love for it to be the case, the world does not revolve around my streams.
It does.
We thought of that. We naturally entrust the Book of Mickey to your care, to keep locked up or whatever.
The Book of Mickey.
He deadpanned.
Does have a certain ring to it, I suppose.
Excellent. Well, Yuzu, if your world has come to revolve around my streams, you are a special case, and I am much endeared for it. Willow passed out sheets of paper, and they set to writing down every unanswered question they could think of regarding the imp, her background, her abilities, and her mysterious wolfy guardian. Buffy sat up straight after a few minutes. Here's one that's bothering me. Why did I get a vision of Mickey's friend Verity? I'm pretty sure it wasn't a Slayer dream. Did she leave a message for me? Everybody looked around as Mickey walked in, teleporting mid-step to materialize sat on the chair next to Willow. Willow, unsurprisingly, yelped and jumped out of her skin. Mickey, she squeaked, don't do that. Huh? Oh, I'm just excited, gushed the imp. I've got so many questions. How come Buffy gets visions? What did she say? Buffy shook her head. She didn't really say anything. I just had this warm feeling like everything was going to be fine. Mickey nodded. Yeah, she does that. She is a goddess of truth and love, after all. Yeah. Speaking of goddesses, my partner Minnie got me Hades 2 for my birthday. I started playing that last night, and dang, that game is gorgeous. I never played the first one. I kind of... it was kind of a... I sort of jokingly call it a principled thing. It was like, I had heard of the original game, Hades, was interested in it, heard it was really good, but then heard that, like, by the time I started taking an interest in it, Hades 2 was in development, and I knew that, Hades 2 features a lady protagonist. So I'm like, well, I'll just start with that one then. That's the one that's more built for me. So, I've watched a little bit of gameplay of the first one. They're both really very pretty, very cool games.
You weren't tempted to just play through the first one first before you start?
It would be tempting, but
clear the backlog.
I have so much in the backlog. I have been so social over the last couple of years that I don't beat a lot of games anymore. Zacharias is quite a good lad, and everybody's attractive. Presumably also applies to 2, yeah. I think Zacharias... I don't know, like, it just sort of dumps you into the deep end as far as the gameplay and story are concerned. There's a picture that looks like it's depicting Zacharias like he's the main character's dad or something. So I don't know. Okay. But yeah, that series is very near and dear to Manny's heart, so I'm very touched that that's what Faye decided to get me, and I'm already enjoying it. Maybe I should put that one on stream. I don't know. I have been casting about for like, what should I stream if I go back to Twitch? Now, coming up after this, I've tentatively want to try to get live with our friend Moss doing some streaming. I didn't. We kind of penciled it in. I'm not 100% sure whether it went through for us or not, so I'm not like, hey, see me right after this on Twitch, like, for certain, but there might be another stream, in which case that's going to be near Automata. So, we shall see. It'll be pretty awesome if that comes through, but my voice is going to be exhausted. Alright. Chapter 43, Not My Story to Tell. As the Scoobies left for afternoon classes, Mickey decided to spend some more time with Giles, helping him cross off some of the stuff in the awesomely titled Book of Mickey. Right now he was inquiring about the limitations of her teleportation, and since it was something she'd always done, she was finding it hard to explain. I don't know why it's not magic, she protested. I didn't make the rules. Normal imps probably use magic because they're in hell and there's a lot of it about. But I keep telling you I'm something different now. I've got mutant superpowers.
I find it rather suspicious that your mutant powers allow you to exactly duplicate powers you already possessed, but now rely on dubious intradimensional mathematics rather than magic.
Mickey just shrugged, which was becoming her de facto response when Giles used too many big words. I didn't make the rules, she repeated. I don't even know the rules. Jack figured some of it out, but there's nobody we can really ask.
And just what has Jack figured out?
Mickey sighed. When you go from one world to another, you get changed to something that can exist in that world. If you went to a world without men, you'd still be you. You'd feel like you, but you'd be a woman, like that.
So, because you were transported to a parallel dimension where magical creatures weren't physically viable, you were transformed into a non-magical facsimile of your prior self?
Mickey's mouth hung open, and her left eye twitched. Maybe?
So Jack was formerly a wolf man, but was transformed into a normal, wolf-shaped wolf? That makes no sense. Surely you could have claimed the same situation as yourself regarding a physical mutation.
Mickey really said transfemme isekai. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's go to that world. Let's let's read that story. Oh gosh. I didn't make the rules, growled the imp. Giles frowned and drew a line in the book. He wasn't really getting anywhere with this line of questioning.
Let's try something simpler. What's the maximum...
He paused and started again.
How far can you teleport in a single jump?
Not far, really. The big football pitch on the field?
Yes.
I can go not quite all the way across it. Short ways, not long ways. She looked down at her fingers. I can go long ways in 3 jumps. Giles did some mental arithmetic and made a note.
And how short can a short-range jump be?
Mickey tilted her head. Pretty short, but not super short? I can go from here to there, say. And she did, teleporting to one of the other chairs around the table. But if I want to go from this one to the one next to me, I need to look at it. She turned her head to demonstrate and teleported 18 inches into the adjacent seat.
Extraordinary.
It's pretty handy, she agreed. And it really was, especially in a fight. The long and boring powers testing she'd had to go through had shown that her teleportation was faster than fast, and that her ability to change her position, turning around or sitting down or whatever in mid-jump, was something incredibly rare. Rare and powerful. Clever timing tricks had shown that Mickey experienced a split second of getting up to speed time when she came out of the nowhere place between jumps, which nobody else got to see. It was all very scientific, and putting words to it didn't really do anything to help, but it sure sounded cool. She gave Giles a grin. Next question? Giles looked down at the list, then back at the girl.
I must say, you're being remarkably cooperative today, especially regarding this little interrogation.
Yep, cooperative, that's me. Cooperative's my middle name.
Can't help wonder what you're up to. If you were Willow or Xander, I'd suspect you were trying to distract me while Buffy did something reckless. But in this case...
He frowned.
In this case, I suspect you're just trying to spend as much time in the library as possible so you can absorb more magic.
The imp stuck out her chin. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't mind talking to you about stuff, but honestly, I'm really only in here for the magic.
I see.
It's just right here, you know? So much power going to waste. You're not doing anything with it, are you?
Certainly not.
He protested.
And I must say, I'm a little concerned that taking in so much dark energy can't be, well, good.
She gave him a pitying look. It's not going to corrupt me or anything. I've seen worse before. Hells, I've been worse. I'm a devil, remember? Grr. She used her finger to mime horns, apparently forgetting that she already had them. Giles considered that.
So you're saying you can exist quite safely on a diet, as it were, of evil magic because you're, what, immune?
Oh, sure. I can absorb power from all kinds of things. She rolled her eyes as she read from a mental list. Good magic, evil magic, neutral magic, nature magic, charms, spells, curses, enchantments.
Souls?
Interjected the Watcher. Theoretically, if it's not, in use. I'm not a succubus. I'm not going to sex anybody's soul out of them. She frowned. Succubi don't get to keep the souls they take anyway. It all goes to Mania. So there'd be no point.
I see, but you're not a succubus, so presumably Mania would get nothing.
Mickey changed the subject. When I'm on Verity's world, she keeps me charged up with loads of power. She struck a dramatic pose. You should see me when I'm fully charged. I'm so awesome. We travel the world fighting evil and putting things right. Rarity says me and Jack are her paladins.
You're a holy warrior?
Giles repeated, alarmed and amused in equal measure.
You?
Mickey nodded. Yep.
This Verity must be very open-minded.
She can see the truth of a person, so she knows I'm a hero. Plus, we're best friends. We go way, way back.
I'd be interested to know where such a being came from. Can you shed any light on that?
Nuh-uh. Not my story to tell.
Way, way back, you said. Am I to infer that you first met Verity while you were in hell?
Mickey's eyes went wide, but she clamped her mouth shut and wouldn't say anything else on the subject. This is more Giles? I think.
How does her power work? Does she gain power from any and all acts of love, or is there some form of worship, some ritual? Does she have churches or some form of sacred observances? A holy day, perhaps?
Giles tried a few more questions, but Mickey clearly felt she'd been tricked out of a secret and had elected to sulk. For several minutes she sat with her arms folded, resolutely ignoring him, so he decided to pack away the Book of Mickey. Ridiculous name, at the very least it should be Mikisha, and lock it away out of sight. He went to the back of the cage and placed the book into a stout box, which he then locked and covered with an old dust sheet. When he came out of the cage, Mickey was standing in front of him. He managed to not quite flinch, realizing that he hadn't heard her move out of the creaky chair, because she technically hadn't, in any conventional sense. The girl still had her arms folded, eyes narrowed. Can I have my money yet? She stuck out her hand in the international gesture of gimme. I've got bills to pay, you know.
I'm fairly sure you don't,
objected Giles on principle. Uh-huh. I'm joining a gym, she claimed. And I'm signing up for Netflix.
I don't believe you, and I've never heard of a Netflix.
He turned and locked the cage.
Care to try again?
He said over his shoulder. She pouted. Okay, I want some spending money, because I'm going to the zoo tomorrow with Larry. She produced a leather wallet and dug through the contents. I got this from a guy at the store, but I don't think it's worth very much.
You got it? How exactly did you obtain that?
I beat up a bad guy. He was robbing the place, so I knocked him down and took his wallet. She studied it. It's pretty lame treasure, but I'm getting quite a collection.
I hope you didn't hit him too hard.
Is this a time period with Netflix as a delivery service? No, this is still far before that.
Before I checked.
Yeah, Netflix didn't start until... Oh gosh, that would have... late 2000s? Like late aughts, I think. Maybe mid.
Founded in 97.
Oh, founded.
Began
Okay.
rentals on 98.
Okay. Oh, it must have been the streaming that started in the aughts. That said, Giles may never have heard of Netflix even once it did come out. Okay. I'm sure he'll be fine. Once his ribs grow back. Ribs grow back, right?
No, they don't.
Oh, well, never mind. She shrugged. Hey, he had a gun, too. You want to buy a gun? You like guns, right?
I most certainly do not.
Oh, pooh. I'll just bury it then, I guess.
That might be best.
Agreed Giles, relieved.
So, the zoo. Are you planning to visit the giraffes?
Mickey's eyes went comically wide as she took a huge, gasping breath. You mean giraffes are real? Get the pigeon out of the patient.
Archimedes, no, it's filthy in there. Yeah, the ribs grow back is the meet the medic.
Ah. The imp then entertained the librarian with a tuneless rendition of We're All Going to the Zoo Tomorrow, until he almost literally begged her to stop. In the end, it took a small bribe to silence her. He offered to show her some of the Slayer's training kata.
These forms were developed by the Watchers Council over several centuries. They're designed to maximize the potential of a Slayer's strength, speed, and reflexes.
What is up with alternate dimensions and giraffes? Yeah, they are also a favored creature for fucking with AI.
Everyone's stuck to the original name of camelopards. That's why no one else knows what giraffes are.
Camelopards. I have strength and speed and reflexes. I've got so many reflexes.
Of course. Now, copy my posture, if you will. No, not quite. Yes, that's better.
He showed her some of the steps, moving slowly for precision, and was gratified to find she picked up the sequences quite readily, with only minor corrections needed. He already knew she was building upon extensive martial arts training, but he was still pleasantly surprised at how quickly she picked up the forms. He found himself wondering if he could identify ways to synergize two Watcher-trained warriors into a complementary style, letting them work together more effectively. It had never been done, of course. He doubted any Watcher had even contemplated the idea, as there was only ever a single Slayer at any one time, and until now they always fought alone. He watched with a critical eye as the girls stepped slowly through the first sequence, working through a simple but potentially devastating combination of punches and elbow strikes. Realizing how it looked, he glanced at the library doors.
Mikisha, if someone should happen to walk in, We'll tell them that you're showing me a traditional Moldovan folk dance, okay?
I'm dancing? Can we have music?
Don't have any traditional Moldovan folk music to hand.
I can sing, offered the imp.
No, you bloody well can't.
Muttered the Englishman, then quickly cleared his throat.
I mean, this is, after all, a library.
Okay, can I try this one fast now? How fast is it supposed to be? Can you show me?
Alas, I'm only human. You'll have to ask Buffy to give you a demonstration.
Some of these moves remind me of other stuff. When I do this bit, she blurred through a block grab kick combination, I would normally follow with something like this. She pivoted on her heels, stabbing upwards with a wingtip, while delivering a straight hand lunge with her free hand that would almost certainly disembowel a human opponent. Giles swallowed. And then I'd probably add some teleports in between that and the next bit. Your set flows really nicely, but it's always squared up against a single opponent. I like to hit one and move to the next. You can get some really good angles that way. She mimed a punch. Giles judged it was probably aimed at somebody's kidneys. Bam! Next! She flitted rapidly between half a dozen imaginary foes, teleporting between them almost faster than Giles could follow.
I've noticed you use teleportation to get behind your opponents. Quite effective, I should imagine.
Yeah, she nodded. If I can see the ground behind somebody, I can be standing there. I have to be able to see where I'm going, but so long as one part of me can get there, it's all good. I could shoot a hole through a door, say, and teleport through that. But for fighting, I can usually go wherever I want. People move around a lot.
Especially when they're trying to kill you.
Yeah. Sometimes I hit somebody from the front, then the back, then the front, then the back again, as fast as I can, like pow. She flickered to a spot inside Giles' guard, then vanished, then reappeared and immediately vanished again. He felt the faintest of touches against his chest, spine, chin, and neck, recoiling in shock as the imp paused to whisper in his ear. Gotcha! He recovered quickly and removed his glasses for a fast, furious polish.
Excellent technique. Very effective, I'm sure.
Mickey pulled a face. Training gets old real fast. Is there anything else fun to do around here?
What exactly did you have in mind, keeping in view that this is a school library?
The question of can the teleportation work through a live feed?
I'm typing. No, she needs an unobstructed path. Or so she's been told. And she won't try otherwise.
The imp sighed dramatically. I've got enough power for now. I'm gonna go see if the pool's empty. The pool wasn't being used when Miki got there, so she ditched her clothes and dived straight into the water with a little whoop of joy. She surged through the water, pumping her arms, legs, and wings with massive power to rapidly change direction underwater with speed no human could match. When she came back up for air, she realized Miss Griggs had wandered in to see who was making all the noise. Eep! She ducked back under the water and swam at a more conventional speed to the far side of the pool, manifesting herself a tan-colored swimsuit before pulling herself out of the water. She waved to the teacher. Hi, Miss Griggs. Are we going to do dodgeball again sometime? I think I can do better next time. What are you doing in here unsupervised? Demanded the teacher, rather rudely ignoring the question. Swimming? Explained Mickey, stating the obvious. I've got a swimsuit on. I wasn't naked. She added a little too quickly. The woman blinked, frowned, but pressed on regardless. Students aren't allowed in the pool without adult supervision, she insisted. But Snyder said I could, countered the imp. He said it was fine. I asked. Well, it's not. Health and safety regulations. Oh, Mickey thought. Do you want to stay and watch me swim? No. You want to swim with me? We can race. I'll go easy on you, I promise. The woman's frown deepened. Not interested. Go get dressed and clear off. You want to swim? Join the team. Mickey scowled and stomped away to the changing rooms. Ah, for once, somebody that Mickey can't make friends with. Even if she's not, actually trying to kill her. Art class was properly interesting and useful. They were going to make things out of clay, which the teacher called pottery, even though none of the kids were going to make pots. Mickey asked if she could make some actual cups and plates and bowls and stuff, and he said yes. He even came over and showed her how to make a straight-sided mug from flat pieces. She made a couple of plates, one big, one small for her kitchen, and a shallow, slightly wonky bowl, also for her kitchen, and then she made several of the mugs, and carved her glyph into the side as decoration. She also marked the underside of her plates and bowl, an afterthought, but it felt right. Then she had one last idea. She cut out a shape and stuck it on one of the mugs. That done, she ran into a problem. She stuck her hand in the air until the teacher noticed. My things are all floppy, she complained, causing a ripple of amusement across the class. Should I be using thicker clay? No, your pieces are fine. We're going to fire them in the kiln. You're going to kill them? Her voice rose a few notches in alarm. Kiln. He corrected gently. It's basically an oven, so the clay goes hard. We call it firing. Have you glazed your pieces yet? I don't know. What's glazing? Like a donut? Paint. Would you like to paint your items? Yeah. Mickey lost a confrontation. We found the final boss. Miss Griggs. The villain that we must defeat in chapter 75. When that lesson was over with, Mickey roamed the corridors, watching the kids as they gradually vanished into their classes, until, finally, she was all alone. She was feeling restless and out of sorts. Even though they had a plan of attack against the two vampires, well, a plan to make a plan, the waiting was driving her crazy. Imps weren't exactly the patient hunter type, and Mickey was no different. She was all powered up with nowhere to go, and if she couldn't get out there and kill something, she needed a distraction, fast. Her boot heels echoed as she walked around, pausing now and then to peer at the various notices and posters on the walls. She couldn't be bothered reading most of them, and the few that had pictures didn't seem especially interesting. Eventually, her rambling, circuitous route led her to the principal's office, and she smiled. Mrs. Tate looked up as she approached, and Mickey gave the woman a little wave. Hi, Christine, she said, jogging over and leaning against the desk. How are you today? Mustn't grumble, replied the secretary. How are your classes? I just did some puttering, which was cool. But apparently the clay has to dry out for ages before they can cook it. Oh, that's a shame. Do you have fun at least? Oh yeah, and it's a proper creative skill. You could actually make a living making and selling stuff. That's so awesome. It's the American dream, agreed Mrs. Tate. Mickey nodded a meaningful glance to Snyder's office. Is the boss man home? She asked. He's in his office, yes. He's been quiet all morning, so I've no idea what he's up to. Would you like me to buzz him for you? Yes, please. She picked up her phone and pushed the button to call Snyder. After a brief exchange, she nodded for Mickey to go right on in, so she did, pausing to knock first. Snyder was stood looking out of the window when she entered. He turned around, smiling.
Miss Nichols, to what do I owe the pleasure?
She treated him to a smile. Nothing really. It's a social call. I thought I'd pop in and see how you're doing. He blinked.
Oh, I don't get many social calls.
Well, you're a busy man. People probably don't want to disturb you when you're working. He frowned and dropped into his leather seat, gesturing for her to sit as well.
They don't like me,
he muttered. Well, nuts down. Mickey shrugged. You've been nothing but kind and cool to me. I made you a gift in art class.
A gift?
He raised a brow, warily. Art projects were almost always terrible or embarrassing, or embarrassingly terrible. I made some mugs, but it'll be a while before they're ready to use. One of 'em's blue, with a big letter S on it, for Snyder. She tilted her head. I don't know your favorite color, but I figured you'd like a nice dark blue.
That's very thoughtful. I appreciate the initiative.
Mickey shrugged. I'm sure you've got a proper mug, and you won't want your business contacts seeing a wonky mug that some kid made. But, well, maybe if you keep it in a drawer or something, you'll know that somebody made it for you because you were cool. The man smiled.
Why can't all my students be like you?
He asked, and Mickey chuckled to herself. If all the students were imps, the school would almost certainly be a smoking crater within a couple of days.
I hear you've been taking in a sample of the various teaching subjects. How's that working out for you?
Oh, I'm learning a lot. Willow's been extraordinarily helpful as well. I'm very glad you asked her to help me out. An excellent choice.
Yes, she's one of the better ones. Quiet, studious, quiet, mostly quiet.
It's not easy choosing the right people for a job like that, Mickey said. Takes insight, people skills. We should get an initiative going for more imp exchange students. Roynicorn has the fic that he's gonna write. The Great Imp Initiative.
Yes, insight and understanding. You have to know what makes people tick. But you know what they say.
He leaned forward.
If you want something doing properly, you have to do it yourself. Rely on nothing but your own instincts. You have to be ruthless and cunning and never afraid to get right to the point.
He sighed.
That's what it takes in this modern world. Seize the day, strike while the iron is hot.
Wow, really?
Oh yes, that's how I got where I am today. Dogged determination, hard work. Never give up, never let an opportunity go to waste.
Mickey narrowed her eyes. That sounds like good advice.
It is.
Thanks a lot, Snyder. She got up to leave, her mind made up. She was going to go find Willie's place. A road with 1,000 oak trees shouldn't be hard to find in a town this size. Oh, I guess it wouldn't have to be a Buffy fic, right? There's plenty of other schools we could have exchanges with imps. Anyway, I am going to take a short break. I am going to snack a little bit, drink a little bit, stretch a little bit, and we'll come back in a few minutes and do at least one more chapter.
I'll stay here and field questions.
Okay. See you all in a few.
Oh my god, I get...
All right. I have fortified myself a bit and ready to read for, I don't know, maybe another hour. I messaged Boss, who I had been talking with about potentially doing a Nier Automata co-stream this afternoon, but they are away and haven't responded. I kind of wondered if this might happen. They work a very, or not work, but they live a very busy and erratic schedule, so the chances of their being involved in something on Final Fantasy today or just being knocked out of sleep were pretty high. That's part of why I was a little bit hesitant to say, oh yeah, I've got this other stream scheduled. So we will yet see what happens with that, or if anything. For now, we're going to continue with this stream. It's the important one. It's the one that's going on now. It's the focus on the stream in front of you, not the one in potentia. Yeah, Reinagor, like, we have vanished into the arcana of Buffyverse lore, I suppose. It has wandered off from Ask John Anything into, if we had Joss Whedon here, what would you ask him? Anyway. Hey Joss, can you help me work out the metaphysics of my fanfiction?
At what point did you realize that some of the stuff actually wasn't as cool as you thought?
Some of the stuff? Huh?
Well, yeah, some of it is like, wow, if I was 12, this would be so cool. But I'm not.
Well, we are on chapter 44. I know she was here. The Sunny... Oh, so this... Your fic got featured in something called the Sunnydale Herald. A fan newsletter of some kind?
Yeah, it's actually pretty big, apparently. And I was getting mentioned every other day. It's like, oh, there's a new chapter. I'm like, I'm posting a chapter every day. Why are you only picking up every other one? But yeah. I emailed them to say thank you.
It is not every fanfic that promises a daily update and then actually delivers on it, you know? So perhaps they're just not used to like, oh wait, it's actually been updated. Yeah.
This was a rewrite. I have posted this story before. It was originally written in 2017. And when I first finished it, I came sort of wandering into the living room, and Diane sort of looked at me and said, "What's up?" And went, "I've finished my story," and just promptly burst into tears.
Aww.
And then when I finished the rewrite, exactly the same thing happened.
Aww.
And also, Ice cried at the end of this.
Oh gosh.
It's not sad. Just did.
Well, we'll see if it gets me that way.
He won't thank me for mentioning that out loud, but there we go. Big bad wolf.
Okay. Excuse me, I'm looking for 1,000 oak trees.
I don't think. Oh wait, do you mean 1,000 Oaks Drive?
I'm not driving. I'm walking. Buffy and Willow were at the Bronze, as planned, dead on 7 o'clock. Mickey, naturally enough, wasn't there, because she didn't have a clock and couldn't tell time anyway, and if it had shown her numbers, she probably still wouldn't have understood, and it was quite possible she only had a hazy understanding of time as a concept anyway. Xander had volunteered to stop by and pick up the devil girl on his way over. It was pretty much the only way to coordinate anything given the circumstances. The girls were quite alarmed, therefore, when Xander showed up at the club by himself. "Where is she?" demanded Buffy. "Did you forget?"
No, I didn't forget.
He groused.
She wasn't home. She's been home. Her school bag and stuff are there. But I think she went straight out after school.
Why?
No sign of her having had an evening meal. She loves her home routine, so she'd never skip dinner. I'm worried.
Buffy frowned. I meant, why would she go out somewhere when we had plans? Xander shrugged.
Ask her when we find her.
Willow tilted her head. You don't think she'd have gone to Willie's by herself, do you? She doesn't know where it is, pointed out Buffy. You told her at lunch. Thousand Oaks Drive. You even told her she'd have no trouble spotting it. Buffy slumped back in her chair, frustrated. Oh God, I did, didn't I? She grabbed her soda. Finish your drinks, we're leaving.
I didn't get anything yet,
protested Xander, throwing his hands up at Buffy's flat look.
It can wait.
You two go fetch Giles. He's got a car, you can cover more ground. She might even be there, I don't know.
What about you?
I'm going to Willie's. Knowing our girl, she's probably made some new friends. At least that's what I'm hoping. Also, to the if Whedon was here, what would you ask him thing, ask why he thought it was a good idea to include a self-insert in Buffy. Gosh, I don't remember the Whedon self-insert. Who's that? Or did Joss actually show up? Was it in the show? Was it in the comic? When did that happen? I super hated that in Stephen King's stuff. Like, Cringe is dead. Kill the fiction cop that lives in your head. Oh, Xander is an insert. Oh, I mean, Xander worked out fine, I think. Even if the concept was as a self-insert, Xander doesn't come across so hard as a self-insert that it ruins anything. So, like, questioning why he thought it was a good idea, it worked, didn't it? It's not like, I don't know, yeah, like The Dark Tower, where the characters on, I think, 2 different occasions come into our real world and talk to Stephen King to convince him to write more of their story or something like that, which just
God, really?
Yeah. So bad. And like I was starting to say, it's
I'm trying to remember the name of the film with Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. Oh, I don't know.
There's quite a serious film with Will Ferrell years and years and years and years ago where he finds out that he is actually a character being written.
Yeah. Yeah, so okay, so this is the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. It's his like world-hopping dark fantasy thing, right? He wrote The Gunslinger, which I loved. That one was more focused on kind of the sort of weird post-apocalyptic dark fantasy. Then there was The Drawing of the Three. It's a 7-book series. The first few books, they start doing this world hopping thing where the main character ventures into like more of a real world New York and recruits characters from there to join him in his quest, which is wild. But that was fun enough. Anyway, he wrote a goodly chunk of the series and then stopped for a long time and kind of lost interest in it or inspiration or what have you. Moved on to other projects for a while, but fans kept asking him like, well, when are you going to finish Dark Tower? When are you going to finish Dark Tower? It's got such an epic quest plot line. You know, the quest needs an ending. When are you going to finish Dark Tower? Well, I think part of it was because he had that was maybe around the time when he got hurt. He was in a terrible accident. He was hit by a car, and so yeah, that just like threw his life into an uproar for a long time as he recovered. But when he resumed writing, it was like he actually wrote this set of scenes where the characters were stuck in their quest because Stephen King wasn't writing their story. So they needed to go into the real world and go find Stephen King and tell him, hey, get back to writing, and kick him into gear. It's like, what? Why? And, you know, a co-worker of mine years and years ago that I griped to about this in pretty much the same fashion was like, oh no, it was brilliant. I really respected that he did that. I'm like, okay, you are obviously a super fan of Dark Tower. I will not dissuade you. I will not be able to convince you of just how cringe this is. But yeah, that's why I think, like, when I talk to people about the Dark Tower, I say, you know, read The Gunslinger, read Wizard and Glass. If you really enjoy those, read the second and third ones, like Drawing of the Three and the one whose name I'm forgetting at this point. But just at that point, just stop. Just imagine how the rest of it ends. Write your own fanfic version or something. Just don't ruin your experience of the good books by reading Song of Susanna onward. Yeah, and I could. It is, the whole idea of it is that the Dark Tower is this fulcrum between universes, and yes, that includes our universe, and so on and so forth. I did not enjoy it, but yeah, obviously, it was my team lead for a while, really enjoyed it, respected that plot device, thought that was brilliant, so maybe you would if you read it. The Fun Slinger, oh no. Yeah, they did make a movie of the Gunslinger with just an amazing cast. They had Idris Elba as Roland and Matthew McConaughey as the Man in Black, which is just, I thought, was just inspired, but I never ended up watching it because it got such terrible reviews. It just sounded like they really biffed it. They really did not stick the landing with it, and thus no more of it got made. They just had the one, even though it's this sprawling fantasy epic, they only just did the first one because it didn't. Ah well. So it goes with adaptations. Homestuck, I think, is another one that has an actual, like, author self-insert, like, hi, I'm Andrew Hussey, I'm in my comic now. Hussey is a more problematic personality than Stephen King, perhaps. Sure, Hacken does. That's right, you were one of the ones talking about that yesterday. Mouth of Madness? Oh, you're talking about the movie with, not the Gunslinger movie. You're talking about the movie that John was talking about. What was the actor that you were?
No, that's Will Ferrell's in Stranger Than Fiction.
Oh, Stranger Than Fiction.
He just randomly starts hearing narration in his head of everything he's doing. And it's like, this is weird. You know, Harold went down the stairs and did this, that, and the other, and then he finds out that she's planning to kill him off. It's like,
wow.
I need to go and find this person and say, don't do that.
Oh, Alan Wake games, yeah, have sort of a author walking through his own world kind of thing. Mouth of Madness does that as well, okay. Andrew Hussey is a side character that has an unfortunate amount of relevance to the Homestuck plot. Oh dear. Okay. I just heard back from Moss. Looks like we will be on for Near Automata. So I should probably get back to reading so we can finish out this chapter. And yeah. But first, Renicorn, even fully understanding what a gunslinger is and what the word means, Brain gives you the image of someone launching guns with a slingshot. Okay. The Slayer's entrance into Willie's place was usually carried out with impressive volume and force, but this time was different. She didn't kick the door open for show. She didn't sweep her predatory gaze over the patrons in a silent challenge. No. Somehow, this was worse. The blonde girl pushed the door open like she didn't have time for it. She gave the bar a cursory glance, scanning for something and not finding it, then turned her attention to Willie. "Where is she, Willie?" She held up a hand to silence his protest before he could open his mouth. "Before you start with the usual routine, I'll tell you now, I know she was here. She stamped her mark into the grass verge outside." She dropped the sports bag onto the bar, the contents clanking ominously. Let's see, I think we were having Adlath do Willie. Yeah. Willie cleared his throat nervously. Friend of yours?" he asked, stalling desperately. Buffy ignored him and turned to address the room. 4'8", black hair, dark eyes, may or may not have horns, wings, and a tail. You all know who I am, and most of you know who I'm talking about. I know you're bored of death threats from the Slayer, so listen up. If anything happens to that girl, I am going to make somebody suffer. She turned back to the terrified barman. I'm not here to knock you around in exchange for info. You're going to tell me everything you know starting right this damn second.
"She came in a few hours ago, maybe 4:30? Cute little kid, looked human, but she's really not, is she?"
Buffy shook her head. I already mentioned the wings. She leaned against the bar. Keep talking.
"I said hi. She introduced herself, said she was looking for somebody. I gave her a free drink."
He swallowed, paused to adjust his suddenly tight shirt collar.
"It was, how should I put it? Drugged?"
The edge of the bar cracked in the Slayer's grip, and Willie's voice rose an octave in pitch.
"It wasn't my idea. There was a guy in here last night. He was talking to two vamps. Said if the little girl came in, I should give her a free soda and dissolve something in it. He gave me a couple of pills and a business card. Said the girl would be bad for business."
Buffy growled through gritted teeth. Akeisha is the sweetest, nicest little monster you could ever hope to meet. If she was a regular here, all your patrons would fall all over each other to buy her drinks. You're going to give me that business card, and you're going to tell me all about the guy who gave it to you. She sensed two vampires approaching the bar, and whirled around, stake at the ready. It was the two runners from the night before. The philosophers. What do you two want?
This one's you.
Okay.
This one's Pat.
"We can tell you about the guy you're after, I bet,"
said the shorter, darker man. The other nodded, stroking his blonde beard.
Nikki seemed like a smart girl. Why would she accept a drink from a stranger?
Willie grimaced.
"I told her it was from you two."
Both men immediately vamped out, all yellow eyes and bumpy foreheads.
You did what? You little punk!
Willie scrambled to the other end of the bar as the short, dark-haired vamp looked ready to climb over it. Buffy slammed a palm down on the bar top, startling the vampires. Can your indignation. You're not the victim here. Tell me about this guy.
He's some kind of demon.
Growled the taller vampire.
Mostly human, with glowing green eyes. I never caught his name.
Willie returned and held out the card.
"Mergan.
I phoned him after she dozed off. He wandered in and picked her up within a couple of minutes, so he must be based close by. The blonde vampire narrowed his eyes.
I noticed last night she has an unusual scent. We can help you track her.
Buffy gave him her best Slayer stare. Why should I trust a pair of vampires? You wouldn't even stand and fight when I confronted you last night. The other vampire shrugged.
Don't need you to trust us. That's up to you. Come along if you want. We're gonna go save the kid.
Buffy felt horribly useless as the two vampires started sniffing the air. Anything? She asked. They both nodded.
I noticed a scent last night.
Said one.
A bit like a bakery. And a bit like farts.
Brimstone and cookies. Definitely not human.
Added the other.
She went this way.
They set off running, but not at the full unnatural speed of a vampire. They needed to keep stopping to test the air and confirm they were on the right track. We're headed toward the docks, observed Buffy.
Looks that way,
agreed the darker vampire.
I'm Pat, by the way. He's Sven.
I don't care. She frowned. Mickey might be a soft touch, but I'm not fooled.
Wow, what a bitch.
The blonde vampire, Sven, shook his head and beckoned.
I think we're close.
Buffy held up a finger for silence. I think you're right.
You can smell her too? I never knew that.
Don't be stupid, snapped Buffy. Slayers can sense magical evil. Pat blinked.
I never knew that either. Makes sense, though.
Lead the way.
Prompted Sven.
We've got your back.
Yeah, right, muttered the Slayer, but nonetheless she had a sense of the imp's stolen Hellmouth energy now. She unzipped her sports bag. Swords or axes? The target was a small, squat office block, flat-roofed with 2 stories above ground and probably a basement. Buffy could feel it immediately, the familiar buzzing evil of Mickey's stolen Hellmouth energy radiating from somewhere inside. Now that she'd felt the girl without that buzz, her inner Slayer wasn't freaking out quite so hard, but it still made her teeth itch. The building was ringed by a sagging wire fence, dotted with faded signs suggesting that a local security firm carried out regular patrols. The mean-faced creature guarding the front door showed who was providing the actual security, and Buffy was certain there'd be another guarding the back. Can I trust you two to distract the guards? She asked.
We can do that much. You know that's a Caitlif demon, right?
Buffy nodded. The cranial spikes kind of gave it away. Think you could take him? Sven shrugged.
We can ambush them 2-on-1. No sense making it a fair fight.
Great. Give me a count of 30, then make your move. Start something noisy. Run if you have to. Just keep them looking the wrong way while I get inside and find Mickey. She didn't wait for confirmation, didn't look back. She leapt over the fence, ghosted to the wall, and clambered up a drainpipe. She heard the vampires climbing up the fence as she rolled over onto the roof, scouting for an access door. Stab, stab, slash, kick, stab, punch, stab, smash, stab, yawn. Mickey was bored. Fighting under Code Black rules was fast and effective, but it didn't feel fair, and it certainly wasn't much fun. The bad guys were close to panicking, and there weren't many left. She popped in between 2 guys, stabbed one in the back with her magic pitchfork, and yanked it back to bash the other in the face. That was kind of fun, and then she nabbed herself a cool gun. Yoink! The gun was a 2-handed one, so she threw the fork over arm into some guy's leg, then teleported behind one of the others and pointed the gun at his back. His red jumpsuit puffed and rippled as the bullets went through it, which she deemed to be a success. The guy with her fork in his leg was down on his side screaming, while another guy tried to pull it free. Mickey shrugged and turned the gun around, spraying the rest of the bullets in their direction. It wasn't as effective at this range, and when the gun stopped working, she couldn't be sure she'd even hit anything. One of the guys charged at her, brandishing his own rifle like a club, and Mickey smiled. That was more like it. She surprised her attacker by leaping forward to meet him, closing the distance before he could react and crunching his nose with the big end of her gun. He blinked, reeling, and swung his weapon at her head, but he was wobbly and slow, and she ducked easily, taking a moment to smash her rifle up between his legs. The man sagged a little and didn't look like he wanted to fight anymore, so she rammed the narrow end of her rifle through his chest and left it there. Blood squirted in all directions, and the guy fell down. Okay, take care, Yuzu. We're probably wrapping pretty soon. Won't miss too much. The last two guys were still struggling with her fork, so she magically blipped it back into her hand, laughing as the man pulling at it suddenly had hold of nothing and stumbled backward in shock. He was even more shocked when Mickey appeared in front of him and swung the fork like an axe into the side of his head. Bone cracked, and the man cartwheeled away like a rag doll. Mickey turned to face the last gunman, but with the fork removed he was gushing loads of blood from his leg and would probably be dead pretty soon. Boring. She looked around for more targets. Murgan watched the girl's memories in rapt fascination as they played out in the shallow water of the Reverie Basin. She was secured in place on a frame of cold iron, the back of her head lolling in the gently steaming water. The heavy chains, secured with jade clasps, were merely a precaution in case she suddenly developed an immunity to the IV of ketamine in her elbow. The other arm was host to a second pipe, this one draining her blood into a plastic pouch. She'd already donated 2 full pouches, at least one of which she planned to sell to Keats, assuming the master vampire could meet the asking price. He had more ambitious plans for the rest. He glanced up at the top of the iron frame, to the camcorder on its tripod, recording every second of the devil girl's fascinating memories. She'd already shown them so much. He really hoped he could keep her alive, but that depended on the skills of his hired mage, a Ketliff shaman named Gus.
Any progress?
He asked, turning to the robed figure at the back of the room. Gus had taken an age to set out his accoutrements, draping a corner of the basement in dark purple velvet, which he insisted would aid his concentration. He had a crystal ball for crying out loud, but he came welcome recommended, and his trick with the water pool was certainly yielding results.
You have video footage of Succubi bathing in molten lava. I have confirmed that she hails from a previously unknown hell dimension, perhaps the mythical hell of a human religion. I must continue my studies.
He turned his hooded head to regard the unconscious girl.
I will require more samples. Something essential.
That's 2 chapters with no spelling mistakes. Yes!
Yay!
Oh yeah.
Okay, I think I am going to wrap there. We've got a nice little cliffhanger kind of thing where we're about to attempt a daring combat rescue of Miki, who has proven that one of her vulnerabilities is to drugs and to tricksy kindness. So, yeah, we get to confront Murgan next time with the newly cursed number, Chapter 45.
Great. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah,
Thanks
you, as
everyone for
always.
coming.
Any parting previews, comments, or author's notes?
This whole thing was just an excuse to include Mickey's memories, brackets, stolen bits from the previous story.
Ah, gotcha. So was that memory sequence just like a copy paste from a different story then?
It was updated a lot.
Okay, with updates.
but yeah,
Okay, a rewrite
it
of
was-
another scene that you've done.
It's
Gotcha.
a blow-by-blow fight
Mm,
against superheroes in the Whately universe.
gotcha.
And there's more of that fight in Mickey's memories,
Mm,
which do come in.
okay. Next time then. All right. I am gonna go see about getting set up for a second stream today. See if we can make that happen. Looks likely. So if you all are still around, you can hopefully find me on Twitch for maybe half an hour here-ish.
I'm
Until
going to
then,
go and have some food.
Mm,
But then if you're still on when I'm back, I shall look it up.
awesome.
Okay, cool. Have fun.
Until then, live with honor, and your heart is unassailable. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Or me.
Let me go, there's no doubt. Gotta get out of this small town. You took my heart from me, now you're everywhere I see. Set me free, let me fly. Let me find new kinds of highs. We're just wasting here, waiting for another year. We both know the score. We've been here once before. So many words unspoken. You took my heart, it's already broken. You don't have to wait, I can take the pain. I will surrender, let me go on a new adventure. It's my time, watch me build another life. Find another space, explore the world and find my place. Hope you find some peace of mind. Hope the night was worth your time. Threw my heart away, we won't see another day. We both know the score, we've been here once before. So many words unspoken, you took my heart, it's already broken. You don't have to wait, I can take the pain. I will surrender, let me go. It's a new adventure. On a new adventure. Adventure.